Eric Andre.
Are we on?
Oh, yeah.
We're on.
Yeah.
Not a lot of fanfare. You need like a music. You need an intro song.
I always feel like I try to make the current moment enough.
Okay.
What's been the most persistent thought on your mind lately?
Persistent thought. I don't know. Like the current anxiety spiral. I mean, the news is pretty grim right now. I've just been watching Middle Eastern snuff footage for a week.
At what point in watching the news does it become like less about being informed and more like pornographic of you're just like kind of getting a hit from all the horribleness?
Man. Yeah, you really need to take breaks. You need to sit on the bench on the sideline for a second and like breathe. It's grim.
Do the problems of the world ever...
Like, this is also the last thing I wanted to bring up. But you said what's been on my mind, and I have anxiety. So I'm like thinking about what's my current anxiety spiral. But like, I don't want to touch this topic with a fucking 10-foot pole.
Do the problems of the world sometimes distract? Like, they're in a way a distraction from the problems of your own personal life. Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah, maybe. But shouldn't we pay attention to the problems of the world?
Yeah.
We shouldn't be apathetic.
No, I think we should. But it's like do you
go to therapy?
I do go to therapy.
Do you know if it's cognitive behavioral therapy or what kind of therapy it is?
It's just like talking therapy.
Yeah, but what type?
I don't know if there's I don't know if it's like CBT or anything like that. Do you go to CBD therapy?
I do a tremendous amount of therapy.
Have you always been to therapy?
Therapized?
Throughout your life?
No, not really. I wish I went throughout my childhood. I would have resolved a lot of things that, like, I let fester from childhood into adulthood. I really wish I went to a tiny little bit of childhood therapy, but not really. I didn't really start doing it until I was 25. But I regret. It was kind of like the biggest regret. I would have solved a lot of problems, or maybe not solved problems entirely, but would have had a lot more. I would have had a lot more inner peace in my childhood.
Do you feel like you've at least like gotten close to that inner peace that you're looking for now?
Sometimes, but therapy and mental health stuff is a practice. I think like life is nothing but stress. And continuous bouts of stress and trauma. So I think that, it's not like you do therapy and then you do it enough and then you're just done.
Right.
Because life doesn't cease to be stressful. And traumatic. So I think I'm a lot better. I think that therapy and exercise, I'll say too, are like non-negotiable.
As you've gotten older, has life gotten more or less stressful for you?
I think it's not quantifiable in like that type of metric. I don't think it's like more or less. I think it's different. I think the stressors of your childhood and your teenage years and your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and your 50s, I think each decade, each year, each moment comes with its own nuanced set of difficulties.
Do you remember like the time in your life, or even just like in general day to day, like what moments you feel the most happy during?
It's like that old Dennis Leary joke where he's like, there's really only like a few moments I have. I'm going to shittily paraphrase this joke because I haven't heard it since I was 10. I think it's like a 35-year-old joke. He's like, happiness is only like in that first bite of that chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like pure orgasmic euphoric happiness is in those moments. It's more like mood. How's your mood in general?
Sure.
Are you down? Are you anxious? Do you feel calm? Lately it's been better.
Do you have a sort of baseline in mind that you typically tend to hover, like not straight to?
I don't mind anxiety because anxiety is good for performance. I mind the amount of anxiety that I have in general. So I wish that if my anxiety was at like a 7 normally, I wish I could just bring it down to a 4 or 5 in general, and not like get caught in these obsessive loops. But I have like pussyfooted around taking SSRIs my whole life.
Okay.
And I think it's just time to at least try.
Yeah.
And then taper off if I don't like it.
What was
if they're going to offer some type of...
What was the cause of the pussyfooting? Because for me, I'm like, I don't like the idea of wanting to, of needing to be on something.
Yeah, and then I think, what is that? Is that ego? It has to be ego. But yeah, I just like the having to be on something to just live life that feels strange. But we're not in a natural world, so we have to come up with unnatural solutions to adapt to an unnatural world.
Why would you say that it's ego to think that I don't want to be on something?
I can't, well, that's just me trying to figure out what it is. Why have I avoided it for so long? And I think my ego says, no, you don't need the pill. You can do it through natural means, through therapy, through exercise, through meditation. And I do all that stuff. But I'd like to take it over the finish line with... I'd like to attempt to take it over the finish line with an SSRI, if it'll help. And you got to experiment with a bunch of them at different doses to see which one works for your brain chemistry. But I at least want to do the experiment and go, all right, I at least tried it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, doesn't. I know people that are like, it saved my life, whether they're talking about Zoloft, Paxil, Wellbutrin, Prozac, whatever. And then there's people that are like, I hated it. I couldn't get a boner. I couldn't jizz. It made me feel more depressed. You hear everything. And it really is just a crapshoot of experimenting with EQing your brainwaves and seeing if you can get them in the right balance. And if you can, great. And if the SSRIs don't work for you, then toss them out.
When you were a kid, you maybe like a teenager, did you feel good and happy most of the time, or were you also struggling?
I was happy, but I was anxious. I was happy and I was anxious, and I didn't know how to my parents were both neurodivergent and not they were emotionally unintelligent. They're very intelligent, they're very academic, but they were they didn't have the best emotional intelligence, and they didn't go to therapy, and I think they would have both benefited from therapy. So a lot of stuff, I think some stuff that bothered me, I think I repressed because I wasn't given the tools or the blueprint on how to process the emotions. So I wish I had gone to therapy, and I wish my parents had gone to therapy, but my parents are quite spectrumy. So I don't even know how much therapy would have helped, but I think they both just are, they both have their own type of neurodivergence. My dad had PTSD from living in a country under a dictatorship and escaping a dictatorship. So I think, and he was Catholic. He's an ex-Catholic, so repressed.
What's your relationship like with them?
Is this the tone of the show? This is a bit depressing.
I'm finding it interesting. I don't have
grim.
I don't have like bits.
Yeah. You don't need a bit. You don't need a bit. But do people want this? We're dressed like idiots.
Is it? Well, is this stuff you've talked about on the podcast?
Yeah, I talked about it. I just did Neil Brennan's podcast, and I think that's all I talked about. Yeah.
I heard that you...
I don't want to make it also like I have some huge plight where I,
Right.
escape the Khmer Rouge or something.
I don't know if you've talked about this extensively yet, but I saw that you just did ayahuasca in Peru.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I feel good. Yeah, I feel good.
What was the experience like?
It was cool. I've done different psychedelic therapies. I've done MDMA therapy, ketamine therapy, psilocybin therapy. I've smoked toad venom, Buffalo various toad venom. So it reminded me a lot of those various therapies. I like the MDMA therapy the best because it was very customized. I'm one-on-one with a therapist. We work together in talk therapy a lot before we do an MDMA session. So that was very like bespoke and nuanced and really got to the heart of a lot of issues versus ayahuasca, which was great, but it was more group therapy, less pinpointed. But all, and even non-psychedelic therapies, they all lead to the same. They all help you access stuff you typically suppress or repress. Which there's a difference. Repression is more hardcore than suppression.
Did you form any like legit bonds or friendships with the other people in your group?
Oh yeah, it's kind of like being at camp. Everybody like. It was a good group. It was a lot of like very sweet people.
Do you make like at this point in your life? Do you make a lot of new friends?
No, making friends is harder the older you get. Mm-hmm. Making friends is harder the older you get.
Do you do things?
I think that's why people get married.
Yeah,
because it's like I just need like one friend, and it's my spouse, and then eventually my kids, because I'm too tired to make new friends. So I'm going to start talking to just some random guy.
Do you feel like you've got a solid?
I'm drinking less too. I think like it's easier to make friends in your 20s because you're just drunk all the time.
Sure.
I just don't recover from alcohol that well. And it makes me gain weight like fucking instantly. Booze. When in my 20s, it didn't because I had the metabolism. But I've kind of gotten shy.
Yeah.
In my old age, yeah.
I feel that a little bit too.
Bit shy.
Yeah. Do you think
becoming more reclusive and shy? I don't like it.
Have you ever?
I want to.
Like the persona that you have publicly. Do you ever like feel a pressure or anything to like match that when you meet people in real life?
No, I don't feel the pressure at all. I think it's pretty clear I'm doing shtick on my show. Mm-hmm. And, there's some, for my birthday, I go crazy. There's times where that persona is a part of me. Mm-hmm. I just not like that 24 hours a day.
But it comes out in your personal life at some points at least.
Yeah. It's how I joke around with my friends. Mm-hmm. That's what I think everybody's comedic POV is. It's like, how did you joke around in the cafeteria in high school, and can you turn that into a career? Mm-hmm. That's what I think a career in comedy is.
Do you feel like your sense of humor now is still pretty like solid to what it was when you were 15?
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. I use jokes that we would come with my friends who have nothing to do with comedy now. I remember my friend Franklin and my friend Andrew, we would joke around. They were like my first writer's room. Mm-hmm. And Franklin has his PhD in music composition and Andrew plays piano. They have nothing to do with comedy writing, nothing. But they were like the funniest guys I knew. And I'll still use jokes in conversation with stuff we came up with when we were like 13, 14, 15 years old.
Are you still
foundational?
Are you still friends with those guys?
Yeah.
Are they stoked?
They live. We don't live in the same town, so I don't get to see them as often as I would like to. But yeah, and it's one of those things you don't. I won't talk to them for like years, and then we get on the phone, and then we joke around like we're like 15 years old again.
Are they stoked to see like a representation of like your guys' collective sense of humor, like shared and commodified to the masses?
Yeah. I think so. I hope so. They seem like they're.
You want to take a phone call?
Sure, I'd love to.
Let's see what we got going on.
How are these in general? Are they pretty aggressive?
You said, are they aggressive?
Yeah.
Like, do people like get upset?
Or are they just antagonistic?
Let's find out. I don't think these people aren't antagonistic. Hey, Jackson.
Oh shit! No fucking way. I'm so sorry if I get a little loopy. I'm super fucking excited.
Can you hear
What's
Jackson?
going on, Jackson? I love that name.
Eric.
It's like Coltrane.
Oh my God.
It just rips through the room.
Oh,
Jackson.
thank you. Yeah.
What's your last name?
Oh, no. Yep, I get it. Funny enough, England.
Jackson, England. What a powerful name.
That's pretty
That's
good.
a great fucking name.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's a rock star.
Hell
man.
yeah! Even
England.
At my college, whenever I had a professor, he would forget my name, and I used to live in Jacksonville, and so I told him like, where was the city I used to live in? That is my name, and it took him like 3 minutes. I'm like, it's fucking Jacksonville. And
wait, and he
I had a
taught
good laugh
English,
about that.
and he didn't know your name was. He taught English in Jacksonville, and he couldn't remember Jackson, England.
No. I live in
embellished
Daytona.
the story
I'm in
just to-
broadcast television.
Okay, I was embellishing
Yeah,
just
so
to
I
bring
just thought that-
it on home. I can do
Jackson, what's up, man? Was there anything in particular you wanted to talk to us about today?
Yes, I'm very conflicted right now with whether or not I will be an asshole if I do not remind somebody about plans that we've had.
Well, are you dating this somebody, or is this just a pal?
No, I'm gonna give you like the very base level of what I can explain about my relationship to this girl. So we met on a dating app, and we went out on a date.
Yep.
We really liked each other, and like there's also some other things with it, but we hung out plenty times. She had to move to Tampa, and there's a whole lot of things that like are very mixed messages. Like I really liked her, but she probably didn't want to date me because she knew she was going to be in Tampa. But that was all like a few years ago. So now I live in Daytona, and I'm like, I really like haunts, and I really like Halloween Horror Nights. So I'm like, since you live in Tampa, let's do Hallow Scream. And we planned to do that, but then she was like, I'm just going to go to Hallow Scream with my dad real quick. And I was like, that's super cool. Like, you can go to Hallow Scream. But then she hated it. She was like, she was texting me. She was like, oh my God, I'm so fucking miserable right now. Like, I'm getting chased by people in chainsaws. And in my head, I'm like, oh shit. Because, I really want to do this haunt with her, but because I don't want her to be alone. But that's just one piece of it. Oh, and I'm sorry if I get like a bit confused with where the story is, just because I'm going a million miles per hour,
Well, is the larger issue though that she's not non-committal and she's flaky?
Yes. So that is a problem that I've kind of had with her in general.
Yeah.
Because it's not like this is the first time we've tried to. I've tried to plan out something with her, and it has kind of fell through.
Yeah. And she doesn't live in the same town, right?
No, she didn't give me her exact location, but she does go to Tampa University, and she doesn't want me to drive several hours.
And you're in Daytona? You're in Daytona?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Sounds tough, man. I long distance is tough, and she seems like she's got she doesn't seem to she seems like she has 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I personally would play it cool, give her some space, let her come to you a little bit if it's going to happen, but probably I would probably cut and run and
Have you ever met this person before?
Yeah. Oh,
they've been on 20 dates. You said that you went on 20 dates?
No, I talked to my mom about this, and she did mention you went on 1 date, but the rest were just hangouts. Like there's nothing. But
you've hung out with her multiple times.
Yes, we know each other. It's not like this. We only met once, and then she had to move down. We met, and we've hung out many times after that.
Yeah, I don't know. She sounds like she's kind of not, like kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I would either let her, if you love something, set it free. Just leave it alone and let her come to you if it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think if it's going to happen, she'd be into it, and it'd be easy to make plans. It's kind of like get off the pot. And I think you gotta get back on that app and give the roulette wheel another spin personally. But You know, I don't know.
Don't worry.
It stinks because it sounds like you like her, but she sounds like she's in a bit of a transitional phase in her life as well, and then the distances makes everything a nightmare. So I would cut and run personally.
It's kind of weird.
It's your journey.
Yeah, of course. And plus, there is also the my whole family is a big fan of Halloween Horror Nights, and so we go pretty much every year for a couple of years. And so I'm going with my family, and I'm like, hey, because we tried to do the Hello Scream, but then she went with her dad. But then I'm like, hey, would you want to go to Halloween Horror Nights? And I did invite her before she went to Hello Scream, but because she said yes to it, like she said, yes, I'm down, I know a couple of your family members, I will be down to do that. And here is where I think is the reason why I called you guys, is because like she's kind of like a big, like kind of spontaneous person. I try to remind her like, hey, are you still down to go with me and my family on the 20th? But then when she responded, she kind of gave me like a vague answer. She said, oh, sorry, I just saw this. And I was
that's what you were talking about. That's what you're talking about. It sounds
sorry, just saw this is always bullshit.
Yeah.
I've been super busy is always bullshit. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a red flag. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, just saw this. Is like, I don't believe it. I've texted that to women I've dated, and I don't believe it when I'm saying it.
Jackson,
it does happen sometimes. I have a problem with it's not a problem, but like, I'll check my text on the iMessage on my laptop and my phone. Yeah. And sometimes like a bunch will come to my laptop, and they'll be, it'll be as if I read them, whether I didn't. So sometimes that happens, but if it's somebody you're actually interested in, it doesn't really happen.
Also, I would whatever happens here, I wouldn't take it as a personal thing upon you. I feel like that's another.
You can't take it personal. You don't know what people are going through, and
oh, of course.
There's many fish in the sea. And why don't you date somebody who lives in the same town as you? I think it's like hard enough to make a relationship work, let alone make it work with hundreds of miles between you.
Hey, Jackson, before we go, what's your favorite Halloween character?
Oh, fuck. You really gave me just a tough question.
How old are you, Jackson?
Say, it's a group of characters. I am. I just turned 20 2 days ago.
Oh, and how old is she?
She is
7
19.
years old. Yeah, you guys are like young, man. Everybody's young and awkward at that age. Yeah. So don't stress. Everybody's awkwardness will slowly through the years diminish. But that's a young, awkward age for dating for everybody. And you watch like movies and you think everybody's all suave and smooth, but everybody's like clunky and awkward at that time because everybody's figuring themselves out. So don't take it personally. But yes, sorry. What's your favorite Halloween character?
It's a group of characters, but I'm absolutely fascinated with Killer Clowns from Outer Space. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Did you play the video game that just came out?
It's not out yet. I'm on the I'm supposedly on the beta list.
Use that as your next date idea. Have her come over and you guys can play the beta of the new Killer Clowns from Outer Space game.
Oh hell yeah! But yeah, it's one of my favorite characters. I just bought a new Funko Pop when I was at fucking Walmart today. Nice. I'm super excited about that.
Jackson, you need a gal in your life where you're like, hey, you want to go to Halloween Horror Night? And she's like, hell yeah, let's go.
Right.
Cool, I'll pick you up tomorrow. Great. That's how the conversation is. It should be easy.
Right.
It should just be flowing. Not like, sorry, I just saw this. Fuck that shit. You don't got time for that shit. You need to just be like, yo, what's up? It's like your friends. You can just hit up your friends. Yo, you want to go to this? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, great, I'll pick you up. Cool. Yeah. Peace. Mm-hmm. It needs to be easy. It needs to just flow.
The people in your life should make your life easier, not harder.
Yes, exactly. The people that mind don't matter. The people that matter don't mind.
I like that. Jackson, is there anything else you want to say?
Fuck her, Jackson. She's a fucking backstabber.
All right. Now, I've listened to a lot of your shows, so I know, like, not to kind of say, thank you. Good advice. If somebody is kind of like keeping you at like an arm's reach, like, I could do this, but I can't do this exactly, don't do that. If somebody really wants to do something with you, they will want to do something.
Fuck yeah.
With you.
Yeah,
There we go.
exactly.
That's something
There
I've
you
had
go.
to learn.
That's who you want to be
Oh,
with
yeah, but
ultimately
I love you
anyway.
guys.
You want to just be with somebody that's like, yo, what are you doing? Nothing. You want to get pizza? Yep. That's it. Not like, yeah, but I got this. It's really busy this week. If you hear busy, if you hear the word busy, I'm really busy this week. Bye. Because if they want to hang out with you, they'll make time. They'll prioritize you. Everybody's busy. Give me a fucking break.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Jackson.
Love you, Jackson.
Thank you.
English.
Have a good rest of the night, man.
See you, buddy.
Thank you, man. Love you, both of you.
Love you, buddy. You hear a shotgun sound of a.
Oh, Jesus.
Most
I'm waiting for the day that
callers.
something like that
Most
happens,
callers
yeah.
commit suicide right at the end of their call on
Yeah.
this show.
Yeah, we send someone.
High. You said an assassin.
We sent a
The
gecko
homicide
assassin.
rate on the show is pretty high. One
I
of the
like-
highest in the podcast.
I like what you said. I feel like that's I don't know. I'm feeling like I also I'm trying to get to a point where like I can set that I don't know if you'd call it a boundary or whatever you'd call it, where I'm just like I don't want to deal with somebody who's like being flaky or
No, yeah, it's not a good sign. Then
Yeah.
they're not interested. You just got to be like, cool. Don't take it personally. Just be like, hey, it's all good. And then you just got to be like, I'm fucking rad. Peace. Guess you don't like to have a good old time with a hunk.
Hello?
Hello?
Dylan?
Hey, what's up?
What's up,
Holy
Dylan? How
shit,
you
I
doing,
got
man?
through?
Yeah, dude. What's going on?
Hey. Dude,
How you
I'm
doing,
good.
Booster?
What about you two?
Good. What's crack-a-lackin'? How can we
Dude,
help
I
you? What's
gotta-
your question? Talk to us, you silly little freak.
I gotta be honest. First of all, Lyle, big fan. I wanted to come to the show in Oslo, but it was between you and a concert, and yeah, I'm sorry about that. And Eric Andre, big show of course the Eric Andre show, and also the movie.
Thanks,
Loved
buddy.
it.
Thanks, Dylan.
Was the concert fun?
Yeah, so yeah. Yeah.
What's going on,
No.
Dylan?
Oh,
You all right?
yeah, I may need to move back to my parents, and I'm pretty embarrassed about that.
Why's that?
I don't know. I guess it's like young man thing. Like, you want to do my parents proud. You know, I want to pay my taxes and make the big money and have the pretty wife and all that stupid shit. You know, and
I think you could still do that.
I went to the doctor last week, and yeah, of course, but went to the doctor last week, and I got diagnosed with burnout syndrome. Are you aware what that is?
No, what's that?
Well, it's basically, because I got it because I was in an abusive relationship, and it's basically that you're not able to work anymore like before. So
That's
I'm
Scandinavian
basically
as
I'm
hell.
like,
I want that sounds awesome. I don't want to work anymore.
so I'm on sick leave right now.
That's great. And sick leave
It's-
in
it's
Norway
pretty
is
bad.
7.5
Yeah,
years. I'm sorry that you're going through that, and
I wish you.
take the time to mentally regroup. Sorry that you're going through that, man. That sucks. I've been in abusive relationships. It sucks.
It is what it is.
How are you spending your days now that you're not doing anything?
The problem is, like, with burnout, it also like sucks out all the juice out of things that you used to like. So I don't know. I guess I'm playing a little bit of video games here and there, and I try to get through the day, not being as positive as possible. But it's hard.
Do you have a friend?
It's
Do you
really
have a
hard.
friend
I was
group?
in a car accident recently as well. So.
Jesus. When it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
You got a friend group you can lean on? Do you have a group of friends you can? Are you getting? You
Yeah, I
need
got
sunlight.
good
You need
friends, but-
exercise. You need to walk. Go for a walk. You need exercise. You need therapy. You need a friend group. You got to go out, make eye contact with people. A dog would help. You got to have a heartbeat in the house. with you? You have to have like another
I
heartbeat
have
to
a, I have
set
a
you
cat.
up. Yeah, that's good. Are you getting out? Are you getting sunlight? Are you walking? Are you getting exercise?
I'll try to, but it's hard to find motivation to do anything. But
Well,
sometimes
yeah,
my
that's
friends force me
non-negotiable.
to.
No, that's not negotiable. You have to. You have to get the blood pumping. Surefire way to stay in your depression if you're not exercising. You don't have to train for the Olympics. I'm talking just going for a 20-minute walk or something. Getting sunlight on your face, 20-minute walk. Don't be on the phone the whole walk unless you're listening to music that's making you happy. But that's like, what your body is designed to do. Millions of years of evolution went into that design. So you have to do that because that's a surefire way to stay in your depression.
What was your routine
and coffee
like?
helps too.
What was your routine like before you moved back home?
What again? Say again.
What was your routine like before you moved back home? Like, has it changed at all, or were you kind of dealing with the same thing before that? You sound like you're out of breath right now.
No. Yeah, I'm pretty much out of breath every time because everything. No.
Can you reach orgasm?
No,
right now.
I don't know. I'm
right now on the call.
I'm not sure I can.
We want all our callers to masturbate until they reach orgasm.
I think
it
that
probably
would
be therapeutic.
That would be the first that I know of somebody masturbating on the phone on this show.
On this show.
I can assure you that both my hands are up in the air as we speak.
Hey, man, you're all the way in Norway. Live your life. Do whatever you want.
And you're masturbating by rubbing your genitals on a piece of salami with no hands.
Maybe you can do that. You know that thing where you can, just with your own mind, force yourself to get hard and
come with your mind.
That'd be a good hobby to learn while you're in your mom's basement.
I heard that's actually possible.
And you're going to do it for us tonight. No, Dilla, I'm just joking around. But you got to, there's nothing wrong with moving back in with your parents. I actually think it's stupid that we leave our parents. That's like the current system, but I don't think that's actually what we're designed to do. We're designed to hunt and gather in egalitarian bands of all generations. I actually I think our parents would live longer if we stayed with them.
I guess my biggest enemy is I guess the biggest enemy is my own pride, because I want to make them proud in my own way, but I know they're proud of me for simply being a good person and, doing
take that pressure off yourself.
Can with the hand that I'm dealt.
Take that pressure off yourself, my man. Don't be so hard on yourself. Take this time to regroup, do things that make you happy, get some hobbies, but you got to be amongst your friends, and you got to get out of the house. Get off the screens. Get sunlight, get exercise, go to therapy at least once a week, if not 2 or 3 times a week. And you gotta get out of the house and be with friends and do stuff that brings you joy. Take a pottery class or something, or taekwondo or some shit, or go camping. Fall in love.
Pottery sounds nice. It's quite erotic, I heard.
Yeah. You know Jackson English?
So I heard, it could be quite erotic.
It's erotic. Yeah, there you go.
What's that?
You can masturbate in the ceramics you create.
You could do create a clay fleshlight.
There you go. Then all your problems will be solved.
I think we did it. Real quick, how is your
Dylan's goes?
Is your relationship with your parents all good? Like living with them and shit. Like, are they cool?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's normal. Like we run into each other and get annoyed, but we're family. It's normal.
Do your parents still make love?
I heard them one time, so yeah, apparently.
How was that? That was a long night, huh?
Yeah, I told to my dad at the breakfast table had fun last night, and he just laughed it off.
I respect you having the balls to bring it up. I would not.
I would not. Ugh.
Dylan, man, I hope some of this got.
Yeah, because I was like, man. I was like, guys, you need to stop doing this loudly.
Did you fist bump?
No,
him?
I want to sleep. Hell no, dude.
Were they just having missionary style vaginal penetration, or were they doing cunnilingus?
Camera was not working that night.
Could you tell via the sounds what sexual position they were in?
No, thanks. I don't even want to imagine that. That sounds horrible.
Close your eyes and imagine it.
Yikes.
They do have more open attitudes over there in Europe.
Yes.
Towards watching their parents have
I
sex.
fucked both my parents in Norway.
That's where you go to do it.
I did it at customs. Right
yeah,
at
I mean,
the border.
Viking shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Dylan, is there anything else you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
Don't be so hard on yourself. And I'm going to show my parents an episode of Eric Andre show and tell them this man gave me therapeutic advice.
Awesome.
You know how that goes.
Hey, take care, Dylan.
See you, Dylan.
Take care, y'all. Thanks for taking the call.
That's Dylan Roof,
Bye-bye.
one of the most famous mass shooters in history.
How you feeling?
Good.
Good.
I felt good until you asked me that question.
Really?
That psyched me out.
Why did it psych you out?
Because I was like, does it look like I'm not doing so good?
No, that's more of a reflection on me than on you. Does that make sense?
No.
No? I was wondering whether or not you were doing good. Not because you seemed like you were not doing good,
I felt great.
but because I wanted to make sure you were doing good.
I feel great.
Okay. Now I don't feel that good.
Why? Look at your teeth.
Yeah?
Your teeth stand out with the green paint.
Do they look nice?
They're great.
Thank you. You want to take another call?
Sure. Is it just calls, like wall-to-wall calls?
Yeah, well, we can do.
Do you have like a breakdown, like a Jerry Springer breakdown at the end of it? Like,
Not really. I mean, I'm trying to think. Sometimes I have post-call thoughts, but
you
they're
got to
usually
come
just-
off like you're the expert, right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
You're the lead. It's through your point of view, so you got to express your
Not
point of view.
not even really. I
the top and
try to, well, when I do it when it's just me, it's like I prefer. I mean, even when I have a guest on, like I prefer to be talking as little as possible, especially if like people have things that they want to say, because I mean, look with Dylan like living in his mom's basement. It's like, dude, I started doing this show in my mom's basement. Like I was doing this in my mom's basement for like a year and a half. I don't think that there's any, what's the opposite? Shame. I don't think there's any shame in living with your parents. And also, I don't know if you ever looked at those like graphs of like the amount of time you have with your parents, and it shows like 90% of it is gone by the time you like move out of the house. So it's like it's a great thing.
Living with your parents?
Yeah.
I actually think it should be more normalized and not a source of shame.
I think I don't know what country exactly.
I only left my parents because I had enough of Florida and I wanted to see the rest of the country.
Is that where you grew
up? Yeah. And I was in suburban Florida. There was nothing out there.
You're Jewish, right?
Yeah.
Sick. So am I.
Sick.
What was the theme of your bar mitzvah?
Not that Jewish. My mom didn't have a bat mitzvah either. I'm from like a long line of like commie, socialist, atheist Jews.
Did you grow up around a lot of other Jewish people?
Yeah, from Boca Raton, Florida.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's the Zion of Florida.
Are your parents in like one of those like Jewish retirement homes?
No. My dad died last year. My mom is thank you. My mom is she's in a retirement community, but not like an old folks home. Mm-hmm. She's just in like a 55 plus community. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The whole would you be able to track like your personality? Like are you sort of both your parents? Do you think you're kind of more one than the other?
Sometimes I think I'm both. Sometimes I think I'm neither.
Mm. Do you have siblings?
Older sister, yeah.
Is your sister anything like you?
Somewhat, yeah, but somewhat no. She doesn't. She's not like loud and extroverted. She doesn't party. She doesn't drink. She's a bit of a teetotaler. She's very academic. But in some ways we're similar. In some ways we're different.
Do you have a good relationship with her?
Yeah.
That's cool. Is she still like? How Jewish? Like, do you go to the services for like Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah and stuff like that?
Nothing. One time I asked my mom, I go, Mom, I was like in my early 20s. I go, Mom, I'm going to fast for Yom Kippur. She goes, what? Why? And I go, we're Jewish. I don't know. Aren't we supposed to fast and reflect? She goes, no. Yeah, if you're hungry, you eat.
My mom would. My mom would cry tears of joy if I told her I was fasting for Yom Kippur.
Oh, my mom has no. My grandparents, like my mother's parents.
Nobody was into it?
Nobody was into the rituals.
Really?
In fact, I think they disliked the rituals. I'd be like, Mom, we should do a Passover dinner. She's like, huh? Why? She'd never be aware of what holiday it was whenever. And then I remember when I was like a teenager, kind of coming of age, finding my identity, I was like, Mom, we should go to shul. We should go to temple. She was like, have you ever been to temple before? I'm like, no. She goes, there's no place on earth more boring than sitting through its service.
She's 100% right.
In temple.
She's 100%
And then I went
right.
to a bar mitzvah when I was 12 years old. And just the temple part of the bar mitzvah, not the party part. I couldn't keep my eyes open. And she leaned over and she was like, you want to do this every weekend?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no. She's like, I'm telling you. She's like, you don't have to prove yourself to your tribe by sitting through a book of 5,000-year-old fairy tales.
There was I could never get into temple because there was never like even. It feels like in other religions there's like an energy to it, and there's like a even in the ones where it's like I'm being saved by Jesus, and
those are the newer religions.
In Judaism, it never
it's too old.
There's never like a why are we doing this? Why are we saying these words right now?
It's fairy tales written by cavemen 5,000 years ago, and a lot of it has to do with hygiene from 5 millennia ago. It's fucking insane and twisted. I tried to read Genesis in quarantine. It's like written by a lunatic. Mm-hmm. So like incredibly sexist, incredibly homophobic, and punishing and slavery. It's rough.
That bar mitzvah that you went to, did you get to go to the party part?
Oh yeah.
How was that?
Thank God. I didn't know the party part was coming. It was my first bar mitzvah. And I thought it was like, this was the whole thing. And they're reading from the fucking C scroll. And I was like, this is quite boring. I thought it'd be way more fun from what I heard from my friends. And then when I got to the party part,
your
this is what I'm talking about.
Friends told you that shul would be fun?
They told me bar mitzvahs would be fun.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
And they are. The party part's rad.
Mm-hmm.
But the shul part is...
Did you knock back a Shirley Temple or two?
I drank Manischewitz. They had a bunch of Manischewitz out, and I downed like a couple little thimbles of it. I was like, hell yeah, I'm a badass.
There was one bar mitzvah where my friends and I would take the balloons on the thing and like inhale the helium. And it wasn't even
yeah. It's like early whippets.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they got you high. I just thought it would change your voice.
Change your voice. I was listening to Howard Stern a while ago, and he said the funniest thing. He goes, if anybody ever invites you to a Passover dinner, run for the fucking hills. Because it is so long and so boring. If you do an actual Passover, like an Orthodox,
they do the whole thing.
If you do the whole thing, fucking watch out.
They do the speed
Eat before
saver.
you go, too, because you're going to be starving.
Do you like
if you wait through the whole thing? I've done like the very short version.
Right.
I've done the speed round, and that was fine.
Do you like matzah?
Yeah, I love matzah. I grew up on matzah. I would just like lather butter on matzah and wolf it down when I was a little kid.
My mom makes this matzah.
I haven't had matzah in a while, but
half
I love matzah.
toffee, half chocolate.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty good.
You know what was good? I don't know if this place exists anymore in Williamsburg. The Jewish-Japanese place.
Jewish Japanese
Shalom Japan.
place?
Shalom Japan. They had a matzo ball ramen soup that was fucking awesome. And the guy who directs my show, Kitao, is Japanese.
Really?
Yeah. So we would go there and fuck shit up.
Is it still around?
I don't know, but it was awesome. I don't know if it survived quarantine. It's worth checking in on, but it's a rad fusion kind of. Shalom Japan.
Shalom Japan. Okay, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, is this Candy?
Hey.
How's it
This is
going?
she. Good. How are you?
Hanging in there.
Candy.
Yes. Oh my God. Holy shit. I'm on. What?
How? I've
Hey.
never met somebody under the age of 70 named Candy. Is your name
You're
Candace?
funny. That's my real name. No, it's Candy. I'm
Candy's on your
34.
birth certificate.
Yes.
It's a bit of a stripper name.
That's a knee slapper. But
I didn't even mean that as a joke. I didn't even mean that as a joke. I meant that just
okay.
at face value.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't you agree?
Touche.
No, it
Sure,
wasn't
I mean,
it
I
wasn't an
forgot my
insult. It wasn't a joke. Sex work is real work. Candy cane.
Candy Cane Lane. That's a me.
I know you've heard every joke about your name, but I've never met a Candy so young. I'm assuming you're young.
I would think Candy. The only Candy I know is Candy Kong.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know? Do you ever?
Candy.
You know the Donkey Kong people?
The Donkey Kong people?
Yeah.
The Donkey Kong people.
The
Kongs.
designers? Like the...
No. This
the
is,
family.
Candy Kong's not a designer of the.
Oh, Donkey Kong's wife?
Donkey Kong's, I think, girlfriend or situationship is Candy
they're
Kong.
not. They're not
They're
good
not.
middle.
They're not. Donkey Kong's polyamorous significant other.
Okay, Candy, what's going on?
Oh, nothing. I just got home from work. I am a truck driver over the road. So I live in my truck Monday through Friday.
What?
Yeah, it's hard work, but someone's gonna do it, right?
You ever fall asleep at the wheel?
No, that has not happened. Never.
Good.
You ever get really high and drive?
No. Nope.
Took a long time to answer that,
Can't do
Candy.
that.
Candy, truck drivers have the best speed. You guys have the best meth.
I always forget that that's illegal.
They're
yes,
crushing
it is very
Adderall,
illegal.
Monster energy drinks. They're wild. truck drivers.
My go-to is Red Bull.
Yeah, Red
Yeah.
Bull. They're all on uppers.
We're machines. We're literal machines.
Yeah, it's wild.
So-
What are you hauling?
Can I drink or with this makeup
Dr.
going in
You're
my
Pepper.
mouth?
fine. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, you're good.
It's toxic. This is what killed the original.
You have
Tin
about a
Man
week left to live after
and
this.
fucking Wizard of Oz.
It's yeah. There we go. Wow, that was pretty good. You didn't get.
What
a
are you
single-
drinking? I'm not watching the stream. So.
How much? I'm drinking water. So what's going on, Candy?
Oh, okay.
How can we help you with your life?
Oh, I didn't think I would get this far, to be honest.
So your life is perfect.
I mean, my life. No.
You're fully self-actualized
but
on
it's-
the hierarchical scale of needs.
But I mean, I make good money and I have fun when I can, when I'm not working.
Yeah, you sound like a chill ass.
So I'm going to Vegas the end of. Yeah. I'm going to Vegas the end of this month to see Theo Vaughn.
Nice. You sound like you got life figured out.
I'm just chilling, to be honest. Like, I don't like this. I can't stress. I don't have time for stress.
Hell yeah.
Are you a gambler at all?
Yeah.
Do you plan on gambling in Vegas?
Ooh, of course. Ooh, I love to gamble.
Okay, so you were going to be getting another call from
That's
you.
how I get free hotels.
Facts.
What's your budget?
Another
How much
call
are
from
you?
me? So I should
how
call
much?
you.
How much? How much are you planning on spending?
I'm gonna throw up, Candy.
Oh, I don't spend more than like $500 to $700.
That's pretty. That's a solid amount of house money.
Candy, you're a fucking
Yeah.
nut.
I don't know what that means.
You're a
I
fucking
feel like I'm
wild
fucking
child.
zombie, guys.
You ever do wheelies in that truck? You do truck tricks?
No. No. There are not really many tricks we can do.
You could do some
I mean,
truck
just backing
tricks.
up is like the trickiest shit.
Yeah, back it up, flip it around,
Do a little
do a fucking
tray flip off some stairs.
Yeah, pop shove it.
50-50.
Little three wheel motion.
Dude, taking a truck in the bowl would actually be pretty fire.
Why don't you
In the
drive that
bowl?
truck on stage with Theo Vaughn? Give him the fucking surprise of a lifetime.
Right? With all the
He doesn't
Dr.
drink
Pepper
anymore.
rolling.
He's got to get his adrenaline
yeah.
from something.
Candy, I have a question. If your life is going very well, do you have any advice for me?
Oh, I didn't say it was going very well. I just said it's all right. Any advice for you? No. I think you're doing everything cool. I mean, just chill. I know you're like sad a lot. I noticed that from like previous. I listened to you in the truck, like older episodes and stuff.
Oh my god, that's such a bummer.
I know you were sad.
Why did I see? What did you? No, it's all right. It's all right. That's helpful information for me to have. What was it about me that made me seem so sad?
Oh no, you would say it all the time. I don't know. You were like, you kind of sounded depressed sometimes. You would say it.
Yeah.
People like,
Yeah.
I'm just a little down today.
That's the secret,
but
Eric.
You seem a lot happier
The therapy
now,
is all for me.
That makes sense.
How can I be? How do you think I could be less sad?
You know what helped me was smoking less weed.
Oh man.
Smoking less weed. For real.
Are you
'cause I'm
drinking
also
more
on
Monster?
antidepressants.
Are you a weed guy at all?
No, weed don't hit me right. That's not my drug. I liked it when I was a kid, like a teenager, 13 years old. I loved it, but I don't know. It turned on me.
I always forget that weed is like not good for you. Like there's all these like Reddit posts that every day try to like convince you that it's like healthy medicine and whatnot, but it's not good to be inhaling something all the time. And I know my memory's fading a little bit.
Oh,
I just don't like the way
you have
it
dreams?
makes me feel. What did you say, Candy?
Oh. Can you remember your dreams?
Yeah, I had a dream that I went with Optimus Prime and John Lovitz to their house where they were roommates, and they were both very religious and invited me to pray with them.
Nice. Was it my truck?
Candy's
My
bored.
Optimus Prime truck?
Candy just crashed her truck to the new 360 Dome in Las Vegas.
Candy, is there anything else you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
No. Stay chill. You guys are awesome. I love you, Eric. I love you.
Love you too, Candy.
Lyle.
Thanks,
Okay,
Candy.
bye.
I'll try to be less sad.
Bye.
Yay. Bye.
Do you ever like? I assume people come up to you a lot and they're like, "Eric, you must be so high to come up with all these like ideas." What do you usually say in response to that?
What drug? They go, what drugs are you on?
Right.
I just say coffee. Really, just coffee.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of coffee. If I'm high, I don't want to work. Like, could you imagine being in a writer's room on acid? I'd be like, glued to the floor.
I was listening to like a George Carlin interview, and he said he'll like write sober and then edit high. So I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense.
That makes sense. But he used to do so much cocaine, he would stay up for like 7 days straight and start hallucinating people that weren't there. And then his heart exploded when he was like 41.
He died pretty young, yeah. He was like 70.
He died in his 70s, but he had 2 massive heart attacks because he was such a coke addict.
Mm.
Him and Robin Williams and Richard Pryor, they were fucking crazy. They would do Scarface mountains of cocaine.
I don't get cocaine. It only really makes my heart beat.
Yeah, coke and weed are my 2 drugs that I don't like. Those are not my drugs.
What's your favorite drug?
Mushrooms, I think.
Yeah.
Whippets, mushrooms, whippets, MDMA. Xanax is good, but you can't do it all the time. It's very addictive and bad for you.
Eric?
I am here. Hello there.
What's
yes.
up, Eric?
Wow, he sounds like
not
Joe
too
Pera.
much. Just,
he does
oh, wow. That's a high compliment. Just
what's going
decided
on
to
there?
call in on this special occasion. Not too much. Never called in before, but decided today was the day.
What made today?
Mostly Eric Andre being on the air.
That makes sense.
Hey, how you doing, Eric?
Oh, pretty
Eric,
good. How are you
recognize
doing,
Eric. You know what I'm saying, player? You
Yeah,
hear Candy
I do.
fucking
Guess
yapping her way previously? Flap, flap, flapping that candy
Yeah.
cane jaw.
Yep, got to do it sometimes.
Uh-huh. I feel you, Big Daddy.
So just to get right to it, if you could have a dinner party with any 3 historical figures, who would they be and what would you serve for dinner?
You're a wild cat. Is that a question for me or you?
I was hoping you'd answer
Jeffrey
it, but
Dahmer,
either
Ted
way.
Bundy, and John Wayne Gacy, and they'd be eating me.
Okay.
They'd be
Ooh,
eating me
damn.
out,
Didn't
eating
expect.
my booty hole
Didn't expect that one.
like a fried
Would you
circle of calamari.
would you introduce any chaotic elements into the meal?
Nope. Nope. It'd be the most polite meal you've ever seen. I like that the 3 most prominent serial
Okay.
killers eating me is not chaotic enough for you.
Yeah. I don't know how that could be made more.
I don't know.
I guess so.
What more?
No
do you want?
napkins.
We would use chopsticks instead of
I'll
forks.
have to see if I can get Dolly 3 to show me what that looks like.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Well, last thing, what's your most memorable whippet experience?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Have you ever seen people like smuggle a tank of nitrous into like a festival and bury it and dig it up later?
in the ice? Yeah, in the ice coolers. Yeah, I saw a video of that. But my most memorable one, I did xenon one time. Xenon's an element. The stars are created of xenon. And
yeah.
it's like the champagne of whippets.
I
It's
thought that
very
was the,
expensive.
Scientology god.
That's Xenu.
Did you where'd you get it?
There was a guy that was like, it's not illegal. So the guy was, but they usually just sell it in bulk because it's just used for industrial, it's used to make light bulbs. But I found like a rogue xenon guy, but he's AWOL. I can't, the last time I emailed
Oh
him.
damn.
Yeah. That was quite memorable. I've also totally like fished out on whippets before where like my brain completely ceased to, I ceased to be alive for like a second.
What's your most memorable whippets
Wow.
experience, Eric?
Oh gosh. A lot of the time I feel like I actually don't experience much of an effect. Maybe I like don't inhale or something somehow. But so we do this thing at the whippet parties where we get a globe and spin it, close your eyes, move your finger up and down it and see where you stop it on the globe. And then you have to describe what you imagine that place to be like while hitting the nang.
You are eccentric, dude.
I like this guy.
You're
Yeah.
a wild, eccentric man.
Do you remember?
Pretty-
Do you remember what you like? Do you remember what you landed on and what you described it to be like?
Oh gosh. I'm gonna have to review the tapes. I do have them all.
Oh, you
I think
videoed
it's,
this.
yeah, there's actually a lot. It hasn't dropped yet. I think there was a Belize in there. I'd imagine it was green, but beyond that, I think it's kind of a spur of the moment thing before you come down.
Are you on? Did you just do a whippet?
People think that, but I swear I have not done that today.
sound like you're on opium.
I might do one. Well, you know, who knows? Anyway, I don't know.
Well, we've hit a wall. We've come to a screeching halt.
I was thinking I would invite Abraham Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth, and Abraham Lincoln's wife, and I would make them do the thing.
Abraham Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth, and Lee Harvey Oswald.
Ooh. And I would serve JFK.
Slay, honey.
What about a surprise guest? Maybe Jack Ruby.
Who is Jack Ruby?
Jack Ruby shot Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Bring them all.
Eric,
this hypothetical dinner.
Is there anything else you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
I think I'm good, but thanks so much for your time.
All right. Thanks, Eric.
All right. Have an excellent one.
Okay, you too. He was like a character from Napoleon Dynamite.
He was kind of talking like he was asking a question at the Comic-Con panel.
What do you mean?
He seemed like he was asking a question at like a Comic-Con panel. Like he had like that voice that you use when you ask a question.
Like a nerdy guy? Panel. Like a nerdy guy voice?
Like, not a nerdy guy voice,
I
but
noticed
like
in episode 314 of Xena Warrior Princess.
Right. In that kind of cadence.
Yeah. Comic book store guy.
Hello? Robin?
Yes, hi. Am I on? Is this...
You're on with me and Eric. What's going on, man?
Oh, hi. Hi, how you doing? Not too bad, thank you.
How can we get you today, man? What's going on?
I just feel very directionless in life. I've recently graduated from university or college to you, and I just sort of got a job the day after graduating, and I just don't really know what I want to do.
What did you major in?
Politics.
Do you want a career in politics?
I don't know. I already work in the House of Commons in the British government, and I don't really know how much you know about British politics, but it's very much not going well right now.
Yeah, you guys are a mess over there. You guys Brexited. Can you just undo Brexit and Brentrance? You guys really cut yourself off from the mainland.
Literally, yeah.
You're a tiny island. I don't know if you know how commerce works, but you really kind of cut off your nose to spite your face.
What have you always wanted to do?
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. I've always wanted to travel, but I feel like, I don't know. I don't know where to go. Where should I go?
Why don't you take time off to travel? Why don't you take a sabbatical? Take time off to travel and do some self-exploration. And then when you get back, just marry rich. That's what I plan on doing.
That's a good plan.
What brings you joy?
Watching sports. I saw my first NFL game in London the other day. That was quite good, to be fair.
Okay. Why don't you do some sports? Why don't you pivot into the sports world? Not as an athlete, unless you had the prowess, but, maybe get involved in sports. I don't know.
Are you good at rugby?
I'm not very good at rugby now. I'm not much for sports, and I guess.
Well, you don't have to be an athlete. You could, work for the, each one of those teams employs hundreds of people.
Where is it that you want to travel to, Robin?
I don't know. Australia and Canada. I've been to Canada before, but I can't go to Eastern Europe as well. But have you ever been to any of these places? Where should I go?
It depends on what you like, man. I mean, follow your nose. If Australia and Canada are calling your name, go check them out.
You ever? I think about this all the time. There's like these websites where you can go to like get matched up with like a family to teach them English or like help their kids or like work on their farm or some shit like that. I always think about doing something like that. And you can do. I think they you do it, and then they give you like a bed and like some meals and shit. And it's kind of a way. I think you have to pay to get over there or whatever. But once you're there, I think you're kind of set up in the country. You ever look into doing something like that?
Yeah.
Because if you're out of school and I don't know if you have like a little bit of money or anything, but go experiment with that. That's what I would do if I wasn't being a gecko.
Yeah. And I just feel like in my job as well, it's odd because when you work in politics, like there's an election and then you have like 5 days and then you just get kicked out on the streets. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's intense.
It feels really uncertain all the time. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's.
I feel like I'm a boring call compared to the rest of your.
No. You should have heard Candy, man. We were falling asleep with our eyes open over here. No, I'm just joking. Candy was great. I'm a dumb teaser. The last guy we had was like on methadone or something. So you're like
you're a nice baseline.
Yeah. You're a wild hair up your ass kind of caller compared to the last guy.
Yeah, you're bringing me I don't know what you're doing for the nation of England, but you're bringing me a nice sense of calm right now, Robin.
And I think, trust your intuition. Life is short. Get out there and travel. And through your travels, you might experience some type of self-discovery and some epiphany on what exactly you want to do. Or you might meet somebody that changes the course of your life.
Yeah.
But,
try ayahuasca is what I'm hearing from that.
Yeah, try ayahuasca. Try any psychedelic.
Try anything. Get out in the universe. Yeah, you might meet somebody. You might come up with some epiphany.
Yeah.
Just leave your house. Leave the nation. Wander about. Like the Nowhere Man from the Beatles.
The Nowhere Man, yeah. And I guess it's just stressful being in any government, but it's just...
What's your position in the government?
He's like, I'm the Prime Minister of England.
I am Rishi Sunak calling in from. No, I work with an MP directly, so equivalent of a congressman, just like half helping them with all their tasks and things, and writing speeches or whatever. But mostly just like dealing with like the random crap that people write into us about. Like,
is he a bit of a cheeky cunt?
Out there.
Is this congressman a bit of a cheeky cunt?
Oh no, they're very lovely.
I don't know what that means in British, but I love saying cheeky cunt. You can't say it in America.
I think
you have to be in Australia or England to get away with saying cheeky cunt.
In Australia, if you call someone a cunt, it's a good thing, but a cheeky cunt or a shit cunt would be a bad thing.
Yeah. Is he a Roscott Bumbaclot?
It's a good thing here. It's like, it's a nice thing here.
Yeah.
Robin, I think you're a good cunt.
First person you see when you land in London, just call them a cunt. That's what you need to do.
I think you're a beautiful cunt.
Go spread your beautiful
cunt all over Australia.
All over Australia, Canada, and anywhere in the world that'll have you, my friends. Eric, I know you gotta go. Do you have any final questions for Robin?
Yeah, Robin, I think just quit your job and follow your heart, man.
Follow my dreams. Wow. I should now. Eric Andre demanded it, so I should.
Yeah.
So maybe
go to Australia, shelf a pinga, and smoke a yippee bean.
I've written that down. I'll do it straight away.
Okay. Shelving a pinga is when you put ecstasy up your ass.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in Australia. That's Australian talk, though. I ran out of British slang.
I'm learning more than the callers. Hey, take care, Robin.
Thank you ever so much. Have a nice evening.
Bye, Robin. Love you.
How you feeling? I thought it was gonna make you feel bad to ask you that.
No.
Thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it. I'm a huge fucking fan.
I hope you got what you wanted.
Yeah. No, this was great.
A bit of a snooze.
No. You were great.
Yeah,
you were great. I'm honored to have you on. I'm a huge fucking fan.
Thank you. Appreciate
Dude,
it.
is there anything
Likewise.
that you want to say to, you want to plug anything or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. I got a podcast. I got a podcast about bombing. on Big Money Players Network. It's called Bombing. I have comedians and musicians and artists on and ask what their worst gig of all time was.
And you're still on tour, right?
And I'm on tour, yeah.
What's coming up?
EricAndreTour.com. I'm in San Antonio on Monday. I'm doing my Texas. I'm messing with Texas next week. San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, Austin. Then the following week, I go back to the Midwest. Then I'll do a West Coast leg. We're going to add dates, too, so don't stress if I'm not.
And it's not. You're not doing like traditional stand-up, right? You're doing kind of a medley of things?
Yes, a medley, a cornucopia of chaos. It's a little bit Gallagher meets Gigi Allen.
Beautiful.
Yeah, interviewing people, destroying the venue. It's very interactive. A lot of fan interactions. If you're a fan and you want to
get stuff sprayed on you.
Yeah, if you want to come up on stage with me and do crazy shit, this is the time.
I saw you like hanging somebody up on a cross.
Yeah, we ripped off a Janet Jackson shtick. Like she used to like put people at this sex cross and then like kind of molest them on stage and like hump them while singing a song. So that's what I'm doing for my opening monologue.
EricAndreTour.com.
EricAndreTour.com. Yeah, y'all.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Therapy Geckos on the line, taking your phone calls every night. Therapy Geckos doing it right, teaching you how to live your life. But he's not